Well, it's taking its time, isn't it? Oh, there we go. We've got people watching.
Morning.
Yeah, Raconteurs News. Good evening. Welcome to Raconteurs News. I'm Jason Holmes. Just in case you didn't know, I'm the handsome one, and I'm also the one that weighs the least because I've got one less appendage hanging from my anus. And I'm not talking about my penis. My penises don't hang from anuses, do they? Technically.
I just wonder where your brain goes sometimes, you know.
I don't. I wish it'd go somewhere because it's driving me up the fucking wall. Anyway, as usual, got Adi with us. Like I said, with my broadband yesterday, that I weren't going to book any guests this week, so I've not booked a guest for this week. But we've got so far we've got Ben Emlyn Jones booked for next Tuesday, which should be interesting. We'll be able to talk about what were it was. We talked about all sorts, Brexit and UFOs. We'll ask him what his favourite colour UFO is. Good evening to you all in the chat room as well, and to you, my friend Aid Hardy. You've got a nice.
I need to explain this picture. Let me just move out of the way a minute. Hang on. Hang on, let me just move this. This is really here, by the way. And I'm really here, but nothing else that you see, apart from my chair, that's here. Jason sent me this picture when he was in hospital. And the story is, he was in hospital having one of his operations to try and, hang on a minute. Oh, come here. To try and revasculate his leg. And there was a gentleman next door to him, and all of his family had brought him lots of curry to eat. And of course, 4 hours later, nature took its course, and apparently it absolutely stunk, because that's the picture that Jason sent me. So I just thought I'd show you what. Anyway, yeah. His exact words were, "The smelly bastards took a shit and it stinks."
It fucking stunk. I remember it, right? I was sat like that, and a nurse came in and she says, "What's the matter with you?" I says, "Can you not fucking smell it?" And she said, "No, I can't. We've just cleaned him up." I said, "You might have cleaned him up, but he's just fucking done it again. Can you not smell that?" And then she went, "Oh, yes, okay." And it was just doing it all night, and it was throwing shit at nurses while they were cleaning him up, and then it were pissing at them.
Oh,
so it were
horrible.
It were horrible, and it were up all night, screaming and moaning and talking, keeping nurses doing stuff, and then during the day he were asleep, so we kept waking him up, making sure he got woke up. So that's the story behind that picture. I did want to just say, I was going to say I've set up, but it's not. It's Danielle's PayPal account. So it's just for donations. If anybody wants to donate, it's danielle.holmes79 at googlemail.com. So that's Danielle Holmes 70. I've even got it in my fucking diary wrong. I thought it was 97, but it's 79. Danielle Holmes.
Didn't you put 79. It up on the screeny thing?
Yeah, I'll put it on screen. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that people knew what it were. It's just, if you want to make a donation, we're not going to be asking for donations. We did get one last night, although it just went across the bottom of the screen. So big thank you to you, and I'll give you a shout out if you want to remain anonymous. Then I'll just leave it until you give me the go ahead, and then I'll thank you in person on the show. So there we go. I'll put that banner up just so that
I'd just like to say, Leeds, I am not in space, and neither are the people that you normally see with this background. I've seen on many YouTube videos.
Loads and loads of YouTube.
We'd love to go to the moon, but we just ain't got the technology anymore. We used to have 50 years ago, 60 years ago. We ain't anymore. Yeah. Okay.
Well, actually,
because we believe that, don't we?
Well, of course we believe it. Fucking hell, yeah. I believe it. I believe it. Just like I believe all other shit, like Santa Claus and Easter Bunny. I mean, I weren't really big on Easter Bunny. I didn't even think. I thought to myself that that's a bit, his ears are going to be a problem and all, aren't they? So
I tell you what, Heath just made a really good point. Why would anybody want to donate any money to sit and watch me and you two talk bollocks and get wankered?
I don't know, but people seem to do so. Let's, and thank you very much to the people that do. But all this that you're seeing now is through donations, the green screens, all sorts.
Jason's. I'm not rich by any means, but I have sort of, I've done my own. So any donations, by the way, not going to come my way. It's to keep Jason up and running. It's nothing.
But it's just to keep the show up and running. So we always need things. You might need something. You might need something for, I don't know, a fucking a flux capacitor for your fucking mixer or something.
Hey, look, you said to me today on the phone, we've got to do a show because I've got loads to talk about. And then I said, who's the guest? And you went, we don't need one. I've got too much to talk about. So I'm assuming that you've been listening or watching the news and you've now got your ranty head on.
I've not really been watching news. First of all, what I wanted to do is last night we had Shield Destroyer on, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Shield Destroyer, some people liked him, some people didn't. But anyway, we're talking about that guy that had put us on one of his shows.
Oh yeah, I mean I've not watched it.
I watched it. It was only a 10-minute long thing, but it suddenly in corner it appears me, you, and Chill in this corner. So anyway, So I've screenshotted these. So just bear with me because I'm going to show you exactly how the conversation went because I thought I'll get in touch with him. So let me just. What do I want to do? I want to background. No, not background. Overlay. There we go. Overlay. So I'm going to overlay what I said to him. I think that's it. So I'm going to overlay that. There we go. There. The still you showed was from our show. You're welcome to come on. Right. So that's me saying you're welcome to come on our show if you've got some sort of problem. I'll delete that overlay and I'll add another one. His response. Now, his response I've had to take from my notifications because he deleted the response after I'd
So this isn't Mark Shield Destroyer. This is the chap that.
This is the chap that was making that Shield Destroyer were on about that had made us famous by putting us on one of his videos.
Okay.
So then he gets back to me and he deleted this after I'd made my second reply. So I've had to copy this from my notifications. But this is what he said. He said. Ex-Army Paz 49, same age as me, replied, I'm not into heavy conspiracy stuff and I don't own a tinfoil hat either, I'm afraid. So there you go. He's been receptive. And as I can see, he has got a tinfoil hat. If you look at that little Union Jack thing next to him, he's got a tinfoil hat. So he must be able to borrow that. So that's what he sent to me, which was deleted. I'll just delete that. It was deleted after I responded like this. I responded like this. It was a genuinely polite invitation. We've had many different people on, including Dave Sumner, who was the guy on top of the London bus wearing a Trump mask. And whilst we don't agree about everything, I consider him a friend. If you don't want to be judged, then perhaps stop judging. And after I put that, he deleted his comments. So There you go. That's the guy that that Shield Destroyer were talking about. I tried to reach out to him to make contact. I offered him a chance to come on the show. He wanted to, if he wanted to. I mean, he don't need to come on our show. He's got 15,000 subscribers or something like that, so he don't need to. But I offered him the chance to, and it just shows you what a nasty bastard he is. He's just straight away on the attack, tinfoil, that stuff. So he knows. He knows fuck all. So fuck off. I'd. So I'd give that one to Shield Destroyer, who at least is wanting to get into some sort of conversation with people rather than just dismissing them. So
again, I mean, I know not everybody agrees with me. I don't agree with anybody with 100% stuff. Nobody. I don't, and believe me, I often end up not agreeing with myself. Because when you start questioning your own truth, if it ain't true, it never was. But if it remains true after you've questioned it, then it genuinely is true. So it's kind of an evolving thing, and it's our own truth, isn't it? But it's just some people don't want to know the truth, and some people just don't at all.
There's a comment from Dinny. You should have added British only, Jason. Lol. I don't know what that was. Brit. I don't know what that means. Should I added British only to him, or I don't know. Can you expand a little bit on that, Dinny, if you wouldn't mind? Alice is in the chat room as well. Good to see you, Alice. It's nice that you offer everyone their chance to tell their side of the story, and that's all we want to do here. But there's people we've had on that we don't agree with. Apart from one twat, everyone's been civil to each other. So sometimes the civility, when the civility's been lost, it's been my fault. Particularly in the early days when, like I said to you before, I used to turn up at 5 minutes before going on air, and I'd ask Andy who the guests were and what they did. So I didn't know, but I always preferred that, because then you could ask questions that perhaps people, a lot of people might have been tuned in because they know this guy and they know his work, but I was then asking the questions that nobody, the people that didn't know fuck all about him knew. So
yeah, exactly. And somebody said to listen, I'm not into football. What I know about football, well, you couldn't write it down because there ain't a piece of paper small enough. I mean, I literally know nothing. But the only guy that I've ever heard talk about football in a way that I kind of understood was that Adrian Childs. And apparently, when he started, he didn't know anything about football. So we were asking really dumbass questions because he genuinely didn't know. And that's how the show apparently got that many high ratings, because he was talking to people just on a straight bloke level.
Yeah. Adrian Childs, man, where's he gone anyway? Is it on BT or something like that? He's not really on telly very much anymore. He were knocking Frank Lampard's. No, I think Frank Lampard were knocking his bird off or something like that.
All right, okay.
Yeah, so interesting.
So often you're better off not knowing anything, is my point.
Yeah, of course you are, unless it comes to something like Brexit, where you need to know something. And he was a huge Remainer, if I remember rightly. He was in the Remain. I mean, what is the Remain camp now? Is it shanty?
Well, hey, that's what it could be. LGBTQC, and the C stands for camp. Yeah. See, we found another letter. That's what it could be, camp.
Evening to you as well, Owen Lloyd Martin. Good evening over there in Portugal. Yo. He's a Yorkshireman, and I think he's over in Portugal again at the moment. Bandit Buster says Adrian Childs. He was on that business.
Yeah, he was on because he started off on Birmingham local telly stuff.
It's me coffee said boo. I don't know what that means. What that's at. I hope it's not at all, because you're in space station, man. You've made that effort to ring us up from space. What's it like?
I'll tell you what, that fucking Tim Peake's not here either. Has he? He's gone.
Has he? And he's left washing up for you to do.
Actually, no, I've done it.
Oh, right.
I've even put my washing on dryer. It's a big space station. Do you know, I was talking to somebody, you know, the lady I was talking about who got the 16-year-old son who, like, does not fit in this world, and that's why he's struggling. Well, she says to me, she says, well, our Brandon, you know, he don't even believe they went to the moon. And I just said to her, can you tell me one thing? She says, what? I said, where did they put the car? She went, what do you mean? I says, well, when they were driving around the moon, they got a car. Where did they put it? And she went, oh, yeah. I said, your son might be talking a bit of sense. You never know. It's worth looking at, isn't it? And she went, ooh.
They might have towed it up there.
Well, they could have done, couldn't they?
Yeah, towed it up, you know, and then when they got there, you know, unhook the tow rope and let it float down in the 1/6 gravity of the moon. See, all these things, people will actually say something like that because they're so involved, they're so.
I think it just shows. It just shows how good the indoctrination camp is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, people believing unquestionably something that their own common sense tells them is exactly the opposite. You know, but that's what people do, and it's what I used to do. Nicholas Parsons.
There we go. I thought we'd give homage to Nicholas Parsons today, who's farted at the age of 96. He was almost at the age, the oldest age that you can get to, 97, but he's fell one short of he fall short of his century. He'd be a bit pissed off if he were a cricketer, wouldn't he?
Did he used to do Sale of the Century, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, he did Sale of the Century live from Norwich.
Well, how ironic is that then? He didn't fucking make it, did he?
He didn't make it to a century now. No, you're right. Do you know
live from Norwich? It's the quiz of the. What was that one? Live from Norwich.
That was Sale of the Century.
It's the quiz of the week.
It's the quiz of the week.
Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs.
Oh yeah, there were a big scandal about that, weren't there? Mr. and Mrs.
Was there?
Yeah, there were a big scandal because what happened is they realised that when they were getting the answers out, because you know it were like, does he like chicken? Does he like beef? Or does he like ham? And this couple had devised a plan that whichever one started with earliest letter in alphabet, that's the one they'd choose.
Really?
So both got it right, yeah. So they had to change all format. They were a massive because they fucking won everything. Because all they did is whenever they asked them questions and they asked them both same answers, didn't they? One were in booth, and then they'd ask other ones same question.
Yeah.
And they come up with this, and they devised it so that whichever one was the earliest in the started with the earliest in the alphabet, was the one that they were going to choose. So
that's hilarious. That's brilliant.
Good old Nicholas Parsons there. Look at him.
Isn't it amazing? It took him that long.
He's got a couple of beauties with him as well.
Yes, I'm sure he has.
Yeah, but that's amusing. If you answered that, so that's Nicholas Parsons who farted a little bit earlier on. Let me change my background now because I don't want Nicholas Parsons with them girls on, because I might get accused of. Oh, here we go. We'll put this one on.
Oh yeah, Jeremy. Do you want, is that your next subject, Jeremy Bamber?
No, it's not actually. I just thought I'd put it up because I spoke to Yvonne Hartley of the Jeremy Bamber campaign, and I know he's having they're having a lot of legal things that need to be sorted out before they can come on and talk about stuff. So she did say as soon as we can, we'll be with you. We'll talk to you. I know if she said we'll talk to her first, but I know if I'm not stupid. I know if ITV or someone come up, they'll give them an interview. If
of course
something
they will,
would happen. Yeah, they said they'd give us an interview. So that's Jeremy, who's been in prison now for fuck knows how many years, 36 years, which is a long, long time. I mean, I've been fucking sat in this house for 2 months mostly, and it's driven me up walls. So he's in a little cell. I've got all these amenities around me. You know, there's things that I can do, and people I can interact with people via the internet and things like that. But for 36 years being incarcerated for something that he didn't do. Then, but the one thing I watched the first one, the White Horse Farm.
Yeah.
I watched the first one, and what I noticed was they did say that Sheila had been shot twice, which is why they said that she hadn't committed suicide. Now, I've not heard that before, and I'd like that clearing up, because I don't know whether that's true or not, or whether that was something that they popped in there. Because I'm sure if Sheila Caffell had been shot twice, we'd know about it. And you know, people have been known to shoot themselves twice in the head, haven't they, and commit suicide, like Pat Tillman.
Oh yeah, shot himself twice, locked himself in a car and set fire to it. That one, you mean?
No, I think it was just, it was Pat Tillman who joined army. It was an NFL footballer, pro footballer, earning millions. And when after 9/11, he was so enraged, he decided to enlist in army. So he gave up all his NFL stuff, all these $1 million contracts, went into army, and then when he got over there, he realised it wasn't exactly how it were. You know, what they thought it were. So he wrote a letter home saying, this is just about gold. It's nothing at all to do with terrorism. We've been sold this lie and everything. And then he shot himself 3 times in head, I think, and killed himself. So it's not. But I didn't know Sheila Caffell had allegedly been shot twice. So I'd like that clearing up. But I suppose we'll do that when they come on. I've got, listen, like I said, I've got like 3 pages of stuff, and I was reading before as well. And I think, for me personally, it's an absolute fucking joke that the BBC provide a news service called BBC. I know I've said this a few times, BBC Pidgin, which is an African fucking thing. Here we go. Fucking just listen to these. Listen to this headline. Kano Muslims dig out Christian dead body, dem mistake bury.
What?
From Kano, this not story of dead body, we dem dig come out grave 7 days after dem bury am, just because of a mistake from some people. So they buried a guy and then dug him up 7 days later. Yeah, I don't know why he's obviously dead. I don't know why they dug him up. What did they do that for? You might as well just fucking leave it. It's just more work, isn't it? You're making yourself more work. Oh, and this caught my eye. this caught my eye, right? Now, we're talking about Rwanda. There's war and all sorts of stuff going off in Rwanda, or there has been. And it's a pretty grim place to be. There's not a lot of money about. There's a lot of poverty, and there's a lot of, general what we'd expect to see as third world, the stuff we see on these fucking adverts that want you to give £3 a month. But listen to this. This is an headline. Rwanda government deploy drones to flit mosquitoes from sky.
Mosquitoes?
Mosquitoes. The mass spraying of mosquitoes, they target the area of the country where get the highest cases of malaria for the country. So they've got drones. They've got
spraying poison to kill.
And let's face it, it's not just going to kill fucking mosquitoes, is it? It's going to have some effects on people. You know, these are drones.
You'd think.
You would think, yeah. Webber's in. He said, what about the MI6 spy found dead in a bag 3 years ago? Probably locked himself in the hold all and died as a result of a tragic accident, Scotland Yard has said. I remember a lot of that when I was having some dealings with, what's his face? Tony Farrell. And
Tony, yeah.
Who's that QC? Shrimpton, Michael Shrimpton. And it was just before Shrimpton ended up in Nick, and it was just before Shrimpton went to prison. And he was saying about that what had happened is they'd this MI6 guy had a what do you call them? One of them things you used to plug in and download something and take it out. You know, like
just like a memory stick.
Memory stick, yeah, right. So he's what he's done is he's got this memory stick and he's plugged it into a computer at work at MI6, right? And then he's downloaded all this stuff. Obviously, that don't go unnoticed. We're talking MI6. Everybody knows what they're all fucking doing. He gets out with it, and then he's found dead. That's the story that Shrimpton gave to Tony Farrell. But it was all about the Jerrys, because he was all about the Jerrys were Michael Shrimpton. It was the Jerrys that were doing it, that had organised it and everything, and with the Jerrys that were taking over MI6. But it were an interesting thing. Like when you were interested in stuff like this, you know, when you hear people and you talk to people that are, you know, Michael Shrimpton were a barrister, for fuck's sake, and he just threw his career away because he said German intelligence had done. I think it was something to do with 770 with German intelligence that had done it. He'd written some stuff. Just look it up. Michael Shrimpton, QC, is if you want to read more about him. I don't know where he is now. He's a bit. You call him eccentric. You know, people call him eccentric, and he talks all the time about the Jerrys. It's always the Germans, the Jerrys. They've been doing it since fucking time immemorial, as far as he's concerned. So yeah,
I liked this comment from Bandit Buster. Gary Webb, who exposed CIA drugs, shot himself twice. Yep,
Gary Webb. That was quite a long time ago, that as well.
What was the one in France? I'm sure that was to do with Diana, wasn't it? Was it Diana?
Oh, you mean the guy that were found in the guy that were found in his Fiat Uno, or
a white Fiat Uno, dead, and with doors locked
and burnt out,
and he'd been shot twice in head. Yeah, but and that was suicide. It's fucking suicide.
Suicide. Right. That's all I'd say to Harry and Watson, because Harry's don't really know to him, does he?
I mean, he's not royal, is he? He's not royal, is he? So.
He don't mean out to him, so I'd watch out for fucking Fiat Puntos if I were you. White Fiat car guy. That's
I think more and more, you know, that was them him saying, "You lot killed my mum, so you can all bollocks. I'm not doing your work for you." And then Queenie's come back and gone, "Oh, you can't." Like fucking Mr. Punch, and put him in his place.
Yeah. Well, that may be it. I mean, it may be a diversion. It may be we're thinking about doing it anyway, and he talked about doing it anyway, and they said to him, "Right, this is about time. If you're going to do it, this is the time to do it." Because
now it's switched, of course. Because now, you know, front page news. Well, actually, I think it was about page 9. Prince Andrew's not talking to.
Yeah, I've got that down on here. He's not
America, right? But and then the palace said, Prince Andrew's lawyers are dealing with it.
So who's paying for his fucking lawyers?
Well, there's just a big circular thing going on. He's saying nothing, and when the palace asked, they say his lawyers are dealing with it. So nobody's saying anything to anybody, out of this little circle of three, and that's the palace, the the guy they want to talk to, and the lawyer, and everything's in there, and nothing's getting out. So look, another diversion. But we'll go back to Harry and Meg soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, Harry and Meg. Yeah, I just thought of something then when I was fucking. I've got loads of things. I've got. That's what I was thinking. No, fucking gone again. So my brain is. I think
it's the painkillers, mate. It's your painkillers.
I'm not on hardly any anymore. I'm all right. I'm feeling.
I was cutting you some slack, you thick bastard.
And apparently, I looked. I heard this yesterday.
What?
And I thought, fucking hell, I just don't get this one. And I looked it up today, and it's something from 2012, which is 8 years ago now. But it says that beta blockers make you less racist. Beta blockers make you less. I've stopped using my beta. I've stopped taking my beta blockers, and I feel a little bit more racist. I've got to say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, I do. Come on, for fuck's sake! Beta blockers making you fucking less racist. Have a fucking day off.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Mm.
This.
What was your next subject that you wanted to go on?
I've just one of these, just a few headlines that I picked up. The Get Ready for Brexit campaign had little effect. So you remember that where it used to come on radio and say, in order for you to be ready for Brexit, if you run a business, you need to do X, Y, and fucking Z. You don't know that, and it went on TV, and then they were sending literature out and I think it cost something like 45 million quid to do this. 45 million quid. Get ready for Brexit. I think we've been ready for 3 fucking years.
Well, I can remember there was TV, radio,
yes,
and adverts popping up. Yeah, I can, Alice. But yeah. I'm shit at that sort of thing. And it was basically the government say, if you're not sure what to do after Brexit and how things are going to affect you, then go onto this website. And when you went onto the website, it just basically said, nothing to see here, check back soon when we know more. And all that had happened was they'd booked and paid for the adverts, right? Because you've got to pay. But of course, they didn't know anything because supposedly Theresa May's bill had not gone through. So everything's set up and everything. So they thought they'd be ready to go with this, campaign, and so they could get everybody knowing. And there was no information to give. But these adverts still had to run that had cost us all this money. Great, isn't it? That's your money they're spending.
Yes, yeah, it's just the old fucking lot of it. It's the one of the headlines was no handshake from Charles for Pence. Now Mike Pence is the vice president here. Is Donald Trump's vice president, and apparently Prince Charles refused to shake his hand. I wonder what that's all about. I mean, Pence is it Pence? Is he? Can someone explain to me? Is he Trump's, or was he Obama's? It were either one. He's either Trump's or he was Obama's vice president. So that was just making thee laugh.
No, I'm reading a comment because Alice has written, "Can Aid read comments rather than Aid? Can you read comments?" Yes, but I'm shit. Then she put sorry, and then somebody, the symbol, has put can Aid read period, which is actually a good question. Yes, I can, but You know, it's a cracking question.
You can read period and other words.
And yeah, I can. Yeah.
Tony's in there. He says, yes, Jace, Trump's vice president. I know he's a bit of a Mike Pence. Is it Mike Pence? Is he the one that he's always touching kids inappropriately? And you can see kids are not happy around him. Yeah, I think there's lots and lots of lots and lots of pictures and videos of him where he's kissing kids and they're clearly not comfortable, and you know he's touching them in he's got his hand on the tits, and they're like, you know, they haven't even got tits, they're that young. So he's oh no, sorry, that was Biden, Joe Biden. Thank fuck for that. I nearly fucking defamed Mike Pence. Sorry. It was Biden who was a perv. Yeah, there's plenty of. Sorry, if you're listening, Mike Pence, which I'm sure you are. Can I call you Mike? And if you'd have gone to my school, you'd have probably been called 20. So if you're listening, no 20, then please accept my unbridled apologies. Oh, even dog's making a noise. I think he started snoring. He just finished that. He went.
You sure it wasn't Danielle?
Danielle's gone to bed.
Oh, she? Oh, apparently we're live. It says here we're live. Apparently. Look.
Oh yeah, you've got it on your phone. Yeah, my phone says that as well. You look at you showing off on your phone. You think it says live. Yeah, it's creepy. Joe Biden. Have a look at that. He is a bit of a nonce, shall we say? It's there in public, and we know what it's like. We know that it happens all the time. And Beetlebuggers put Mike Pence is allegedly a part of the Pizzagate. So yeah, well, I'm not saying Mike Pence is innocent, but I'm not saying he's guilty either. But Joe Biden, the information that I've seen, with the videos that I've seen, really creepy. And I think there was one, and again, moving away from Joe Biden, but there were one I saw, and I think it was a rock band, and a kid were having a picture took with the rock band, and this kid must have been only about 14. Why are you floating about? You're not in space anymore.
It's because I'm writing and my camera's moving because it's fixed to the table.
See, it can write as well.
But yeah, I can. But because nothing here that you see is really there, it looks like I'm moving. I ought to get the space station one on again. Hang on a minute.
You should have been writing when you were on space station, man. Oh, there we go. Ooh, floating about. Yeah, do one of them roly-polies for us.
You can't do them. No, I'm writing. But I was listening to you, and I'm just jotting down, because if I don't write it down, I'll forget to ask. So please carry on.
Joe Biden. I think we'll just leave Joe Biden there. Oh God, I've got one of these fucking. I've had a shave tonight because I wanted to have a shave before I come on air. Because last night I looked like a fucking down and out. Like that. You know what I mean? Like I'd not had a shave for fucking ages. I don't mean down and out as in a homeless person, but I mean like down and out as in the traditional down and out that you might see on Home Alone or on.
You mean you stunk a piss?
Oh, I fucking did that all the time. I do that all the time. This leg stinks as fuck. All the time. It's getting disturbingly posh on here. Was that a pic of Jason and Aid when they were kids? That picture was me and my sister, and I put it up because it's my sister's birthday today. So happy birthday, sis! She'll be You'll
be pleased to know that Jason's sister is remarkably more attractive than I am.
Remarkably more attractive, yeah. But then and now.
Now. Yeah.
You know, I'm just not going to say what I'm about to say. Sometimes I just think to myself, I can't say that. I can't do it. Sometimes
you've got a filter. You've got a filter.
I've got one. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to a quick one. I noticed today Max Egan's posted a couple of videos or at least one. I've had 2 different notifications, YouTube videos. So I've not watched them. Apparently, it's about the fires in Australia, so I will be watching them either later tonight or tomorrow. But just wanted to say it's good to see Max is kind of back doing what we like him to do, and bring information to us. And we wish him very well.
We certainly do. We don't wish him any ill at all. And
no, absolutely not.
He gets back to doing what he does best, and calling the earth flat, shall we say? Yes. But Ben Enlund Jones is going to be on next week, and I know he's got a lot to say about the Max Egan. He did a whole show, I think about a 3-hour show on the Max Egan situation. So we should be able to get his information on that. I've got this rant that I want to go through. I've got this thing that I want to go through, and I want us to go through it together.
Okay.
But I want to wait until the second hour. So what I want you to ask you now was, why have I fucking written that? That's a load of bollocks. Anyway, how did you mark Holocaust Day yesterday?
How did I mark Holocaust Day? I didn't. Right.
Neither did I. But then again, I didn't know it were it. That's probably because I'm not a Jew. If I were a Jew, I'd probably get like a text message or something saying like it's Holocaust Day. But yeah, I was watching. I was watching something. I was watching last night. When the internet fucking finally came back on after it had gone off after we'd done a show. I watched on Netflix. I watched a thing about World War II because I wanted to have a look at the other side as well. You know what the propaganda and stuff were, and it was really quite interesting. It's going on for a few episodes, so I'll probably get after I've watched Max tonight and gone through it and analysed exactly what he's got on his hand. What have I got on my hand? It is
a crease.
It's creases, mate. Creases. Yeah, so I'll be watching that as well. So I mean, we'll just leave that there, shall we? Holocaust Day. Nobody.
I did hear what was it? A film I watched? No, it was a YouTube, and it was a YouTube. No, it wasn't a YouTube. I think it was a film that I watched in the last couple of days, and this is what threw me when you said Holocaust Day. And these American cops are just being complete arseholes to this bloke. But to kind of justify what they were doing, they said, "You do know we're just doing our job." And the bloke said, "Yeah, so were the soldiers that marched the Jews into the gas chambers. So when exactly do you guys stop just doing your job? Where does it have to stop?"
And I can't remember the leg came off.
I can't remember what that was on. That's not me. That's just something I heard. I'm just repeating it. And I thought that's a really, really, really good point. Really good point. At what point do people stop just doing their job? When they're nowhere near, or should do, that what they're doing is wrong, but they just continue to do because they've got a mortgage to pay. Because they've got us all running around on the wheel, aren't they, really?
Yeah, of course they have. They've got us running around on the wheel. Anyway, just to just let anybody know what they're listening to. Two blokes sat here. I know it says RN in corner, but you're listening to Raconteurs News. And it's just me and Adi tonight. We're going to be talking about some other things. I really want to get into this trans thing because I've been looking up the amount of stories and TV shows that are that are promoting this trans agenda. But like I said, I wanted to get into that a little bit later on. So let's say hello to some people in the chat room. Uni Black Sisters there. Good evening to you, mate. I heard you on the show the other night, and I thought you did okay. I don't know how you feel about it, but but I hope in your, I didn't listen to it all, see, so I hope it went okay for you. Beetlebugs in as well. Poor Carol, fingers crossed. Other people are. It's just run away from me. Let's have a look. Poor Carol, fingers crossed. Other people are going to see what's going on. Yeah. Alice asked me something about this, and I tried to. I spoke about the way that we got Daisy out of the mental institution, and and what we used. So I don't know whether she was able to use that, because I don't know what sort of situation, what sort of relationship she had with anybody in the family. But a close friend, somebody that could also occupy that space. So if you need any more advice about that, just have a look at the mental health special that we did. It explains everything in there, what acts you need to use, and what you need to say. And like we said, we got she didn't come out straight away, because I think she stopped in, didn't she, voluntarily for a couple of days. But
that was a compromise. I mean, when we walked out of there with her, I think even the staff couldn't believe that she was leaving. Even the psychiatrist couldn't believe that she was leaving, because what we basically did, you found all the statutes and acts that we needed to use, and then we went at it from the common law side as well, from getting her a nearest relative and all the rest of it, but naming her mum and then saying, using common law as well. So we attacked it from all sides, really. And I think if they'd have tried to jump in or out of whichever jurisdiction, I think they just knew they were beat.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to it. Because if we'd have just gone in with the legalese stuff, I think they'd have jumped into common law. But because we'd got a position on both sides and we let them know that, I think we just kind of, gave them an opportunity to back down gracefully, and that's exactly what they did. So, but we all live and learn. Who knows? We could have the same situation tomorrow, think we've got it sewn up, and then they've changed some rule or they found something else out, and so you just got to hope that our learning is faster than their learning.
We're getting some. I just want to say, if anybody wants, just gives a thumbs up or something, just make us feel all happy and inside, and make us feel like we're not, we're not sat here and nobody's appreciating it, or even we're not pissing anybody off. But Webby has put in. Let me just put that.
Yeah,
on
just read that. Listen, while you do that, I have to nip to the. I'll turn my mic off so you can't hear me have a wee.
Right, so but when you come back, I'm going to have to nip to the bar, so you're going to have to take over. So okay. I'll start off with this, all right?
I'll still hear you because I've got my earpiece, all right?
No problem, mate, no problem. Yeah, but according to Webby on the Webster Report, I'm fine, check it out, go and subscribe to the Webster Report. It's Paul Webster, big friend of the show, and used to be part of the show as well, and a very important and appreciated part of the show. He does his own show now, the Webster Report. He's reporting tonight that a 7.7 magnitude earthquake hits the Caribbean with waves up to 1 meter above tide level, expected along the coast of Cuba, Jamaica, and Mexico as buildings are evacuated. Jesus Christ, I wish there were a bit of fucking grammar in there. But yes, that's, there is after Cuba. Sorry. My bad. So yeah, that don't look good at all, does it? Let's just hope and pray that that people get out of the way, and it's like I mean, how high is it? A 1 meter above tide level? I mean, how high do they have to be before they become? Is that high enough? I really don't know. I'm not really very good on tidal waves. I remember my previous partner in 2004 when the tsunami on Boxing Day, and the only saving grace about that, it was devastating. I think about 200,000 people died. But the only saving grace for me was that my partner at the time couldn't pronounce tsunami, and she kept calling it Tucsanis. So I don't want to belittle, but you can use humour for everything. So let's just hope that this earthquake that's hit the Caribbean is not going to cause as much damage as much loss of life. I mean, buildings can be rebuilt. Everything's hasn't happened. Nothing reported. Ron Malcolm saying so. This is unconfirmed as of yet. We shall have a look on Sky Sports, Sky News in a minute, and then we'll get the undoubted truth of what is going on over there in the Caribbean. So it's unconfirmed, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that there's not very many casualties in that. And Alice Georgeson's put it in there. Weather modification and social cleansing, they've been doing it. Listen, if they do it, we know they do it. It's not like, all right, some earthquakes are going to be natural. We've had earthquakes before we had HARP, but these earthquakes, weather modification doesn't help. But it's blamed on climate change. But anyway, AJ, you carry on for a minute while I just nipped at bar.
No, hang on. What were we talking about?
What's it? I'm just getting my wheelchair. Fucking dog off me. The earthquake.
Oh yeah, okay then, yeah. Go on then, off you go.
Okay.
Don't be long, because I'll miss you. He's turned his mic off and then said "ta-ra," hasn't he? Yeah, when I was in Thailand, they've got tsunami escape routes. In other words, the quickest way to run up a hill. In where was that? Phuket. Saw those in Phuket. But thankfully, I've never been involved in one. For those of you that were listening yesterday, we did a quick message to my friend Jenny in China. She's in, I believe at the moment, she's in Shanghai. Anyway, I got a message back from, obviously, because of the time difference and stuff, and people being asleep at different times. And her and all her family are all very, very well. And she said where they are, it's just, business as usual, which is good, because we don't like to we don't like to think that anybody's I don't know. When you have to look at the news, the program of the news, and even when they're talking about dreadful things like like people dying, it's always, how much of that is real? Is it 10 times as bad as that? Is it what they say it is? Or is it just not happening at all? Because we know they use, the news and abuse the news and make the news up to steer us in whatever direction they want us to believe things are going. And even when there's a tragedy, like people dying and they've got these new, what do you call it? These new diseases. I mean, even where did it come from? Was it a biological weapon? There's people saying all sorts of things. And then Jason pulls out of the bag earlier that they've actually got drones spraying bug spray, and that's not going to hurt anybody other than the bugs. Really? Okay. Yeah. I'm sure the people of Malaysia will thank them for doing that. And, the people in, where else do they have? Singapore, Malaysia, and the Philippines. All the people who might get malaria, I'm sure they'll love to be sprayed with bug spray, because they haven't managed for fucking thousands of years without it, have they?
No wonder they all wear face masks.
Oh, in China, yeah.
Yeah, because they're told all the fucking diseases. Listen, what just happened then?
What?
The first thing, right? I wish I fucking knew which way I was fucking shuffling when I'm shuffling along. So that
it's the opposite to what you think because you're not looking in the mirror.
Fucking, it does me head in. The first thing the teacher in wheelchair school, right, is because I'm transferring from my wheelchair onto a chair because there's not really enough room with green screen for my wheelchair to be here.
Oh, okay.
So the first thing the teacher in wheelchair school is that whenever you're transferring, you always put the brakes on. Now, I don't sometimes, and I've just gone to get onto my push chair. So I've got my hand on my chair and I've got my hand on my push chair, and then my push chair starts moving away, and then I end up on floor and having to drag myself up onto a fucking push chair. My own fault. I'm a dickhead.
There's only one thing wrong with that. You ain't got a wide enough angle on that camera so that we could have seen it happen.
Yeah. Fucking Jeremy. Did you not see Jeremy Bamber laughing? Fucking, I put the wrong way, didn't I? Jeremy Bamber laughing.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, no, because you think it's over the right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Jeremy Bamber was laughing his head off. And that's the first time he's laughed for ages since I fell off my chair last time.
So, anyway, no, what the other one that I noticed was apparently Meghan and Harry Hewitt have asked the Canadians to pay for their extra security now because Granny said fuck off.
I thought the Canadians had offered.
Oh, really? Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah, I think the Canadian. Well, I mean, it's lucrative for them to have, that pair of cunts fucking living there, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I guess it is.
It's going to be lucrative. They're going to make money off it. So
I bet James Hewitt's so proud, you know. Don't you?
I bet he is. Yeah, I bet he. Well, he's got to be, Annie. He's got to be. Alice has just put in the first rule about wheelchair school is you don't talk about wheelchair school. I've just broke that, Anna. I've just broke that.
Sorry, but that is funny, yeah.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
So, things I wanted to talk about was Max, Meghan, Harry. I hadn't really noticed much else, but you said you got a real big list.
Yeah, well, I would just look at, like I said, I'm still on first page, but a lot of it's all this fucking stuff that's going, and I didn't really want to do it all for 2 hours because it's not very nice stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, some observations today. My missus told me this, right? There's a married person's allowance, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's between, I think, 200 and 800 quid a year. I don't know. It's, but you have to be married.
Yep.
You have to be 85 or over. And one of you has to be working.
Is that real?
Well, that's what she told me.
Oh my
she
God!
Like and obviously she does through her work. She does this, but yeah, this is a married person's allowance. 85 years old. Both of you got to be 85 years old, and one of you is still got to be working. I mean, who's working at 85? Jesus Christ! With that fucking hell, note's working at 85. Is it on your body? And you mind you?
Well, exactly.
Yeah. I did notice the very touching and moving story. Oh, what's gone off here?
What?
Oh, fucking bulb's gone.
You've got a bulb gone?
Yeah. So now, mate, look at me like now. You only put them in the other day.
Yeah, I put them in on less than a week ago.
Let me just see if I can put it down a bit. I'll put it.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit more. No,
back the other way.
250. Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Whew.
Does that mean I'm coming out to yours on Thursday and putting your bulb in?
Yeah. I don't think. Yes, because I can't do it, can I? For fuck's sake, me on a chair,
No.
one leg. Although I used to, you know, when I had my prosthetic on all the time, I used to do that, stand on chairs and change light bulbs and stuff.
No.
Live on the edge, mate. Live on the edge. There was the 70-year-old. This is newsworthy. The 70-year-old who took up ballet to honour his wife. Why not?
Okay.
Right.
Go on.
Right. Okay. Right. I looked on BBC in particular, and I looked at how many of these fucking. Why am I getting that again? Fucking stupid bulb. Fucking didn't last fucking 2 minutes. You know why they don't last 2 minutes? So you'll fucking buy more.
Yeah, it's about right.
It is though, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
See, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? Apart from looks like I've got a fucking pair of horns. Yeah. BBC. I was looking at BBC and I was looking at how many of these shows that they've got that are promoting the trans agenda, the transsexual agenda.
Okay.
And I found fucking tons. There were one called Leo, being a trans man. Yeah. So Leo is I think he's 15.
Leo's what?
15. Right. And at the moment, Leo's got a vagina. So there's obviously a whole thing about him, Max Headroom. Shame you can't make it move, is it?
Hang on a minute. Yeah, there we go.
But you never find out his real name. What his real name is, what his given name were. You know what I mean? Because he obviously weren't called. They didn't go, oh, look at that, you've had a lovely trans. I know I've got a fucking halo on my head.
But why 15 years old? I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't. I mean, it is an agenda without question. And you can always tell when it is the agenda because you're either not allowed to talk about it at all, or if you don't follow the politically correct thinking what everybody else is thinking because they've been told to think it thing, that, oh my God, you're an alien, you know, it's just so despicable, even though what you're thinking is bloody logical and what they're, and that's how you can tell. That's how you can tell it's the agenda. Because, well, obviously you know my daughter. She's part of the alphabet community, but she doesn't think she is. I mean, my daughter's a lesbian. And her partner, Shani's lovely. Really, really, really nice girl. And all I'm bothered about is, are they happy? Are they both smiling? Because beyond that, it doesn't matter. It's not my life. And I'm not saying that just because I've got to put a dog in the fight, because I'm not. And if you ask Jess, she'd tell you that, yeah, it's good to come out so that, you know, she feels like she's being honest with herself and her family and people around her, friends. But that's a label that, once it's out, never really needs to be mentioned again. It doesn't, because it just becomes what is. It don't need to be a badge that people wear or, I don't know, a rosette that people stick in your face because they want you to. And I think the main reason she's like she is because she don't want to be special. She just wants to be equal. So it don't need talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's oh yeah.
be equal, man. Look, I know you're over egging pudding. She's just Jess. She's
Exactly.
just girls, and that's that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. She don't come round and daub shit on my door because I don't like lesbians, or I imagine she's not one of them.
No,
she's not fucking a pull through letterbox type of girl. She's just a I remember I bumped into her at Newcastle at football.
Yeah.
Just one at lads or one at lasses.
Yeah, and that's the point. So I when it comes to the rest of the GBT whatever, I just think it's just a label that doesn't. I don't know why. I don't. The only people that
get it out,
the only people that benefit from everybody want to labeling themselves and jump on not a bandwagon, but wanting to be seen in a certain box. I know that's probably a good, with a specific label. In them, it's not the people who've got this label that benefit from that. It's the agenda that benefits from it. Because the more labels we've got, the more ways there are to divide and conquer us. That's, So the people who think they're benefiting from all this lot, the people who wear the rainbow stripies and, whatever, and who really, really, really bang on about this, they're the ones who are just being used. They're just being used to push the agenda. They're not the ones benefiting from the situation. It's not there for their benefit.
The agenda's getting younger and younger, though. I know. I was looking, right? Panorama on BBC one time. I don't know when it were. I don't really want to fucking advertise it, but trans kids, why medicine matters more. Why medicine matters. More young people than ever are coming. Joe, I am fucking wank at reading my own fucking handwriting. Here we go. More young people than ever are coming forward to see. Why have I put forward rather than forward? Fucking retard. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, I was listening to that show the other night that what's his face were on. Uni, that guy.
Yeah.
But this might make you feel better. Instead of saying specific, what he said.
I do. Please don't, because it's just. Anyway, thank you for the comment. If it means nothing to anybody else, don't worry. The past 30 seconds, we could just cut that out and we'll edit it. Anyway, carry on.
So we've got more young people than ever are coming forward to explore gender identity. Explore gender identity. What the fuck are they doing? Gender identity. It's not woods. It's not going out in woods, is it? Where it's going to explore woods. It's explore it. What do I need to explore it for? My dick's there.
I've been playing with it since before I can remember. I'm sure.
And I'm a dude, yeah. And you know what? If I fancy other blokes, fine. I'll shag other blokes. But I mean, why? Why is it that 2000 last year?
My thing about the whole thing is it doesn't matter.
Last year, 2,500 under-18s were referred to NHS England's gender identity clinics. That's 2,500 kids that are in gender identity clinics rather than mental hospitals that'll help them. Because that's what it is. It's mental illness. It's a mental. If I'm a bloke and I want to be a girl, so if I want to be a fucking elephant, it's a mental illness. I'm going to grow my nose right long. But can I have my nose and have the fucking nose put on? And
when Jess came out as I think she told me, she said, I'm gay. I think that's the word she used. And I went, oh, okay. Anything else? And she went, what? I said, well, I know that. And she went, what do you mean you know? I said, well, I know. How long have you known? Since you were about 5. And honestly, when she was dead little, she was doing all the time. You could give her dolls. You could try and put her in a dress. even before she could dress herself, she used to take the dress off and she'd want to put, like, you know, trousers and stuff on. But I don't know what's going on chemically, etc., inside somebody else's head. However, I do not understand how there can be that many children, because that's what legally they are, who 2,500.
2,500, yeah, 2,500. That's last year. Under 18, so that could be from 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Even these days, they're fucking telling them at 3, aren't they? Oh, you're in wrong body. You look like a bird. I look like a bird.
Yeah,
I should be a bird then.
I wonder how many years ago you've got to go back before the answer to the question is 2. To this question, how many genders are there? Because surely if you'd have asked a teacher 10 years ago, a biology teacher 10 years ago, how many genders there are, they'd have said 2, male and female.
Yeah.
So
they were wrong. All our teachers at school, they were wrong.
But my point is, if we're mammals, how many other mammals on this planet, whether it be flat, round, triangular, concave or convex, have got more than 2 genders?
No,
all of a sudden, fucking we have. Now, I'm not saying that some people don't feel like they're in the body that is correct for them, because it's, how can I argue against what they feel? But was it 5 years ago when the answer to how many genders are there would have been 2? Because it's only past 18 months, 2 years really, where the the politically correct answer to how many genders are there is, well, who fucking knows now, you know. But there's certainly more than male and female, apparently. And it's changed pretty quick. I don't know when it was, but certainly 10 years ago I'd not heard of it. Don't think I had 5 years ago.
No. Listen, 10 years ago, the local tranny were like, somebody that you perhaps giggled at, when you saw them.
Yeah, probably so, yeah.
But now it's got to such an issue. I mean, you wouldn't go up to them and say, I'm assuming they fucking are people, because there's wankers everywhere.
I'm sure there's dickheads who would.
Yeah. Go up to a fucking black geezer because of his colour of his skin and fucking have a go at him.
Yeah, but if you're a wanker, you're going to find an excuse to be a wanker, aren't you?
Exactly, you're a wanker. So you're going to, when you see your tranny walking down the street, then it's... I owe a lot to trannies, I've got to say. But when you see them walking down the street, you probably ignore them after you see them 1 or 2 times. And if anybody didn't see them, you just say, well, that's, it's Janine, the local tranny.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's just, they go, wait, it's not like it was when I was young. Fucking hell, I mean, it changes so quick now. And I think that's because social media, because... well, I haven't got a Twitter account, but tweeting happens now, doesn't it? Facebook happens now. Whereas before, you used to be able to talk to a group of friends you were with, or you'd talk to a few, and it took ages, but everything happens instantly, and it's all now. So
yeah.
Everything's happening so much quicker. The agenda is being pushed so much quicker as well.
And the gender is being pushed quicker, and so the quicker we should be pushing back.
Yep.
And say, I'm not going to call you fucking Pauline. I'll call you by your given name, and I've got no problem that you're dressed up in women's clothes. But unless you are Pauline.
Well, there was a teacher that was. Do you know? I want to say it's English, but it might be in America. But basically, he would not teach that there were more than 2 genders, so they sacked him.
Oh yeah, you'll get knocked out. Well, fucking honestly, you'll get.
Which is,
Here's one from earlier on that I thought that were quite funny. Greta Thunberg says she is unfazed by Trump attack. So she's obviously had something to eat, and it's not, and it's made a bit gassy.
She's gaseous as it is. She's a victim of child abuse.
She ought to get to fucking school.
Yeah. She doesn't need to go to school, mate. She's fully indoctrinated. Fucking hell, can you imagine trying to sit her down and say, right, okay, listen. Everything you think is right is wrong. Everything you think is up is really down. It's just...
Everything you think's a fucking boy, it's a girl.
There you go.
You see, this trans kids thing, this was part of a 3-part thing that I was going to go through.
Go on then. I'll shut up and let you. Go on.
Oh, what the fucking hell? Anyway, so I looked and I found this the BBC 3 show of Leo. I don't know. I think it might have been 13 rather than 15. But it was like a little ginger kid who I decided that. I don't know. I think because they're calling him Leo, I'm assuming he's going to be a boy. Probably likes to climb trees and stuff. So that was the first part, and then the second part, which made me even more angry, was this trans kids. Why medicine matters. Why medicine matters to kids in itself is just beyond me. I mean, you shouldn't be giving medicines to kids unless they absolutely need it at all. And then the third one that really, really got to me, and it made me realize that this has been going on since 1972. And it was Nairn across Britain's Transpennine Canal. So now they're even picking on canals. I think it identifies as a river. So the Transpennine Canal, does it identify?
Hey, there's a Transpennine Way as well.
Yes, there is. Yes, that.
Do you think that used to be a Mr. Boy or a Mrs. Girl previously?
It could have been. I mean, it's.
Or maybe it still goes both ways. Sorry. Oh my word.
Busting common. Oh no, here's another one.
Go on.
Busting common myths about trans.
Okay.
I mean, what myths were the fucking what? That everybody that thinks that they're somebody that they're not is obviously it's a mental illness. That's what Ed is saying. Webby, is saying in the chat room. Disturbing number of people think coronavirus is related to Corona beer. Fucking unbelievable, yeah. Google search trends illustrate that we're surrounded by very confused people when it comes to rapidly spreading illness. Yeah, so Corona beer is Mexican, but people are thinking you can get the coronavirus off Corona beer. But that just shows you that the level of education that they've got. Corona beer are just going to go fucking nuts, aren't they?
Fucking good advertising, isn't it?
Not really. Fucking hell, you get coronavirus. Most idiots will believe it. You can imagine being sat here in your local pub and woman says, oh, I fancy a bottled beer. And they go, Corona, love. And she goes, oh, no, you might get that illness. It's a little bit like somebody used to on fucking Only Fools and Horses when Dell thinks because Rodney's brought a computer into the house, he's got a computer virus. He's got feeling ill. You know what I mean? It's just
I'd forgotten about that.
It's just crackers, man. It is just crackers. We should have a war against Mexico then, according to Nubian. Well, Nubian, you're right far away from Mexico, so you just start orchestrating and starting wars in parts of the world that are.
Hey, here's a bit of trivia for you. New Mexico, which is kind of in the middle of the states, but kind of down a bit. Was named and well established well before Mexico. Ta-da.
Right. Well, come on, you're going to have to give us more than that, man.
Well, New York is so called because it's named after York, England. Yeah.
Say that again.
New York in America, is named after York, in just up the road here. Yeah.
Yeah. It used to be New Amsterdam, didn't it?
New Amsterdam. That's right. Yeah.
Which is where they get the New York accent from, because it's similar to a Dutch accent.
Oh, is it? Right. Okay. Believe
Never
it.
thought about that in your life. Think about it. How they go, like that, like a Dutch person does.
Oh, I see. I hadn't said this one for a while. Every day's a school day. Mm-hmm. So, you would think that New Mexico would be newer than Old Mexico. Mexico as in Mexico.
So when were Mexico invented?
I don't know, but New Mexico apparently was established and up and running, named and done well before Mexico. That's what the people of New Mexico told me when I was there. Yeah. But there you go. That could be bollocks, really. It could be. I don't know.
Well, you don't know, do you? I mean, I can't see it. I don't know. Mexico, how long's Mexico been Mexico? It must have been something before it was Mexico, whether it were like wasteland or what. And New Mexico can only be a couple of 100 years old. So, yes, very interesting, AD. The American geography lesson is completed. And as you said, every day's a school day, and that's the first time I've learned that. I'll probably say it to somebody, and they'll Google it, and it'll be complete bollocks.
No, please, somebody Google it. Now, I'm not going to do it because I don't want you to think that I'm not. I promise you. Somebody else Google it. I'm not looking on any other screens or anything, but apparently that's the case. Anyway, so all these kids, 2,500. My first question would be, why have they got gender reassignment clinics at all for children when what they should have is a gender questioning clinic as part of a mental health survey? The gender reassignment thing shouldn't happen for kids. Should wait till they're well into adulthood. If they want to then make that decision, fine. But they shouldn't be mutilating kids before.
Well, that's isn't it? I mean, they're mixing the fucking brains up with stupid shit. You can be exactly what you want. You can't. Right? You can be exactly what you're fucking supposed to be, what you're meant to be, what you were put here to be.
It's like me saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I think I'll identify as Pakistani." I'm not Pakistani. I'm not from North Pakistan, South Pakistan, or even the old India. I've never been. But I'm not saying there are people who have either mentally or biologically or whatever, because we're not all the same. No two people are the same. Not even identical twins are exactly the same. But why is there an increased number, but also it's like the agenda's already set up, the answer. If you're looking at, what is it, problem, reaction, solution, they've already set the solution up.
What is the solution then? If you think
these clinics, because of course it's something they can get going and they can make money from, and it's more reasons for so-called private NHS operations where money can be spent, and it's what they want. It's just the constant growth of the business, because if we don't have inflation and growth, then this Ponzi scheme collapses, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I've been joined by a visitor.
Oh,
yeah, Watson.
It's a good job he's not green.
Who's that, Watson?
Can you imagine if Kermit was your pet?
He wants to get to my push chair.
It'd just look like a pair of eyes.
No, I can't move it because I put fucking brakes on like I'm supposed to. See? There's a floor and everything. It's like when I run that fucking... oh, there you go. Go on then. Good boy. When I run one of them speed awareness courses, I'm sure I've told this before, but there's a lot of people who are new listeners, and welcome if you're a new listener and you're not in the chat room, you're just having a listen. We appreciate you just as much as everybody else. If you're listening on Facebook, give us a thumbs up or what they do on Facebook, or leaving a love heart. That'd be nice. We like love hearts, don't we? They make us feel like, that we're loved. Yeah, I was going to tell that story, weren't I? Of what were we talking about?
2,500 kids. Gender reassignment.
No. Oh, no. I'll tell that story about that fucking. I run that. I nearly became one of the first people to fail one of them speed awareness courses. Go on, then. Because how you sit down and you have a cup of tea and they show you some videos and they ask you for some. They show you some, and you have to get hazards and all that sort of shit. And anyway, I think we had a break, and then we went, and he says, bloke stands in front of us, and he said, "I hope you've learned lots of things from today." And he said, "Now, I'd ask all of you." Oh, that's what he did, because we all had these like little buttons so we could vote and be anonymous, right? So. You could say it were a yes and no question, and you just pressed yes or no, but it were anonymous. So at the near end, he said, "Is there any time where it's appropriate to speed?" And I clicked yes. Everyone else clicked no. Everyone else in class clicks no. He says, "Oh, we've got one person that doesn't agree, or that thinks there is an appropriate time. Would that person like to explain themselves?" And so I said, "Yeah, I'll explain to myself." I said, "I'm a DJ. I drive home in about 4 o'clock in the morning. Right? If I'm going 40 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, I'm not doing any harm. There's no traffic on road. Nothing's going to happen. Blah blah blah." And he says, "Yes, but what if a child runs out in front of you?" And I said, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I said, "Okay, I'll give you this scenario. I'm going 30 miles an hour. I'm sticking to the speed limit. And right above my head, an engine falls off an aeroplane. And that, as I'm going along at 30 miles an hour, falls directly on me and kills me." I said, I'm going to wish I were going 40, aren't I? And he said, "Well, that's not very likely." And I said, "Well, a kid running out in the middle of the road at 4 o'clock in the morning is not likely, is it?" Same thing. Yeah. And anyway, I nearly got... they let me through it, and I just had to press button again and do it differently so that they got all the data and everything.
You see, if that had been me, and and he said, "Do you want to explain themselves?" I'd have just sat there looking at everybody else. And then when he pointed out it was me, I'd have said, "Oh, sorry, I thought this was supposed to be anonymous." I'd have been a rate twat, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
But but the thing is, it don't matter what you'd have said to that question. If you'd have said, "I've got my pregnant wife who's giving birth to triplets and they're hemorrhaging and they're on the back seat of my car, so yeah, I'm going to do more than 30, it'd have gone, "Yeah, but what if a child ran out in front of you?" Do you know what I mean? Whatever you'd have said.
Yeah, it makes no difference. 4 o'clock in the morning, a kid running out in front of me. Yeah. All right, I suppose in Gleadless Valley, that's probably more likely than most places. But
it is actually, yeah.
But not really, not likely to happen. And but then again, you know how unlucky I am. I'm always
yeah. If you were a dog, you wouldn't have been called lucky, would you?
Yeah, well, fucking wouldn't have been.
Anyway, right, come on then. Next one. So, You'd got 3 pages.
I have, but I've pretty much gone through them all because that's another joke I wrote down.
No.
I'll save that. Yeah, busting common myths about trans. I mean, what would you say the common myths of trans are? What would you say?
If it's a woman turning into a bloke, how do they make her a willy? I don't know.
I know.
Go on.
They draw the clitoris out, so the clitoris then becomes what we would call the bell end.
Oh, okay.
So they draw it out of her. No, that's what I understand anyway. I mean, I'm not a plastic surgeon or a trans bloke.
Even though you do look like a right tit.
I'd like to make it very clear from the start that I am not a trans bloke, I am not a homosexual, and I am not one of those sexual deviants like the Yorkshire Ripper.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So
he doth
Patrick
protest too much.
You what, sorry?
He doth protest too much.
I do protest quite a lot. The fighting in the chat room doesn't have the same ring as smoking in the boys' room. Right, so we got I think we've had a bit of a row in the chat room, but I'm sure they'll be able to make it up between them. And there are people in there that are moderating. So if it gets out around, I doubt it will, because we've got a pretty good bunch here.
Yeah.
Myths, they don't have periods. Myth,
you don't
have periods. Yeah, that'd be one, wouldn't it? So a trans man has a period. How does he do that? Does he stick a penknife in his tinter?
I don't know.
How does he have a period? When will it stop? When will it stop? When will it be the fact that they're transferring an entire uterus into a man? Getting rid of it.
Sorry, say that again.
Well, now how they do it, and it's just little bits and that. Are they going to do it where it's an entire uterus so that it will be possible?
I guess that's possible. I do.
And they'll have these clone eggs that they'll pop inside every trans woman's fallopian tubes, newly found fallopian tubes.
I'd just like to say as well, nobody expects everybody to agree with everybody on every subject, which is kind of what makes all this thing kind of work. So don't be upset if somebody upsets you. It's not personal, it's just opinions. And when I say it's not personal, I mean, nobody really wants to hurt anybody on here. Oh, I hope not anyway. But it's not personal, it's just a different opinion, which we can all have.
You can just, where I just mentioned before, where they transplant entire uteruses and stuff. When you take it to the nth degree, I mean, people, when we were growing up, people were outraged that they did sanitary towel adverts, right? When I first
did the radio ad stuff, they couldn't advertise funeral directors. You couldn't advertise. There was a list, and it was called the Hot 10. And it was funeral directors, female sanitary products, condoms. There was literally a list of 10. And then there were subcategories sometimes as well. But, you literally could not go there. You couldn't even reference it in an advert to something else. So you couldn't have somebody stood outside a funeral home with a pint of Guinness. do you know what I mean? Even though you could advertise the Guinness, you couldn't be stood in front of it. It was that strict.
Right.
That strict.
But you see, now we go to the nth degree. I mean, we've come from an age where Even at the time, I was sort of making jokes on when I was doing my DJing. I don't know how many people even heard my jokes, but I used to do jokes about, they always show a sanitary product and then they pour some blue liquid on it, and then I think to myself, well, blue liquid, what's that? Does it? Well, it might work on blue liquid, but does it work on the red stuff? We were lying to ourselves. We were denying one of our bodily functions. I wouldn't have minded if they'd put red on and said, there you go. And I suppose women would have found it more, realistic.
I just think it is what it is. It's on it, and why not just be honest? It's what it is. It's not dirty. It's just a natural function, isn't it?
But you come back, you go ahead 30 years from now. I mean, we're going back 30 years from now, but if you go ahead 30 years from now, and they've done that, and they're able to transplant uteruses from recently deceased people, then you're going to start seeing these adverts on TV that go sort of like, "Has your daughter or wife recently been killed? As long as they're not too messed up, we may be able to offer you money for their uteruses." You know what I mean?
You see, I think 30 years from now.
What, sorry?
I think 30 years from now, you'll all have your brain directly connected to the internet, and they'll upload your personality, right? And then just put you and download you back into a female body. That's all it is. They'll just swap two people over. You want to be a bloke? Yeah. You want to be a bird? Yeah. Okay. They'll just upload them and then download them back into other body. Happy? Good. See you later.
Yeah, but what if you're like, what if? So you're talking about two different separate consciousnesses being swapped into separate bodies, like a vice versa type thing, right? So then you're going to have, what do you do? Do you go and look in a book and think, well, I don't want to, fuck it, I don't want to look like that. I'm never going to get laid.
See, I think it'll be a bit like it is now. Like we can go on Plenty of Fish or whatever it's called. I think it'll be... It'll be, for swapping bodies with somebody who wants to be the opposite gender, and you'll even have a contract where it says that if you don't get laid so many times, you can swap back again.
Or what they could do is you can swap bodies, and then you can shag each other, and then you'll find out what it's like to have sex as the opposite body.
And I thought my head were fucked.
Well, listen, you're missing out on a great marketing plan there.
See, what we should be doing is selling this as an idea for a TV show to Simon Cowell. That's what we should be doing with this.
Okay, can't. He's skint him. You can't do TV anymore. His skint is going to be Barclays advert.
Yeah. What the fuck? At what point have you got enough money where you wouldn't sell your soul?
What point does people just go, "You fucking greedy cunt"? Even the rich people and the celebrities that he just, if I were a celebrity and I'd got some money, they could fucking walk out to me. If I've got enough, I've got enough. But if I least to him, I'd just go, "What the fuck? You not fucking got enough? How much fucking money's going to be enough, you silly cunt? What are you going to do?"
John Cleese did it the honest way, didn't he? He said his wife got half of a load of money that he didn't have. So it's what, and she also got future stuff and whatever. So basically, John Cleese for years has simply been working just to pay his alimony. That's it. That's all it is.
He's got three ex-wives.
Yeah.
3 ex-wives, and one of them is not Jamie Lee Curtis. Although he probably wouldn't mind a go on her.
No.
Back then, not now.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, not now. But, I was watching Uni the other night, and Harry Lays,
Oh, with his feet in the end, and he's picking the scabs off the end of his toenails and things.
Sort of laid on his side, and he's like doing the old cool thing, you know. I'm over here in America, and I'm cool, and he's there. He's got quite a wide shot on it. And I thought to my son, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got Carrie Fisher on a fucking lead.
Fantastic.
Fucking hell.
Come on then, Taylor, answer that one in the chat room, mate.
He'll not answer. He'll not answer. He's too much of a superstar now. He's been on Sips Clips. Sips Clips. Sips Clips. Let's talk about him, that cunt, for a bit. In fact, I meant to get that. I meant to get a picture of Lee Garrett to put behind me. You know, so that I can honour him for his work in the 5G community, because I'm sure he works damn hard, like his bespeckled friend there, Mark Steele. Fucking Mark Steele, what a tosser. Listen, I've got this bloke coming on who's been a bit of a bane of Mark Steele's. You see, I'd have Anne-Marie Carey on, but she's too flaky, and she just deleted me and unfriended. She hadn't blocked me, she just unfriended me. So I'm not going, you know, she's just a bit too flaky and texting.
Oh, this is what I meant to mention, actually. I love it when anybody makes a YouTube or a video or a post about the sort of stuff that we... That's got to be Heath. Can't see it. Super League. Really? Go on.
Really? Oh. Hello? Hello? Oh, all right then. You know, I'm in the middle of a show. I'll speak to you later then.
Cock.
He's dear with a mate. I think the fucking hammered or something.
Oh, God.
I know it's not like him, but yeah.
Right. Sorry, what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying now. I was just interrupted. Please, somebody tell me what I was saying.
What were we talking about? We were talking about.
I have no
idea. We were talking about, because I did see one, and this is going off point, but I will remember what you were talking about, because I did want to continue to talk about that. If anyone can remind me, and everyone's laughing in chat room because it's Super Leeds is ringing me up, fucking, because Leeds are top at league, he says. What were I saying then? What were I saying?
Don't know.
This has gone off. Yeah, fucking hell, Jesus Christ! This fucking weed, like, doing my short-term memory no good. I've got the BBC Pigeon thing that I've already shown. Dog farts. Why are dog farts funnier than human farts?
They're normally smellier than human farts.
Well, they are. Yeah, of course they're smellier.
Can I just point out, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but Jason has got no or next to no sense of smell or taste. It does come and go, but a lot of the time he's got none whatsoever. So it's a good subject for you to be on dog farts, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, Watson's got this thing, when he gets up and he's been asleep and he'll stretch on carpet, like, and he'll get his arms out, and then his legs, he'll stretch them right out like that, and then he'll just go like he's fucking doing it, like if I'm gonna fart, I'll lift my stump up, to let it out. And it's like he's doing.
When I put my socks on this morning,
yeah,
I didn't expect to be having this conversation.
Oh well, I thought you being a dog lover and everyone in chat room love animals.
No, I'm a dog lover, you know that. Yeah, very much so.
Ron Malcolm says he can clear a room with a fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people can. Many people can. It's an old. I think it's become more of a lost art, if you will, because like these days, everything's all instant, and it's all people get relationships, they get out of relationships, get into relationships, and they probably get into relationships, and they don't get to the point where you're comfortable to fart in front of each other, because it does take a. I remember when me and Danielle were first together, she used to come downstairs in the morning. And she'd be able to hear me farting in bed to muffle hers. So, so she got a plan, and I didn't. I just thought she was. So, they don't even get to that point, do they? So there must be so much wind stuck in these people. In my dog, in fact. But yeah, what I saw something on Yorkshire, BBC Yorkshire, and a shopping facial recognition scheme is being introduced at Meadowhall.
Is it Meadowhall? I kind of caught the end of something or the beginning of something earlier. And I heard facial recognition, but that's all I did hear. So yeah, tell me, please.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing. It says that there are watchdogs that are. It's a scheme along with the police. So I suppose it'll start off that anybody that's wanted, if they're in Meadowhall, spending the ill-gotten gains, then they'll get spotted on camera, and I suppose there'll be people. There's always coppers in Meadowhall anyway, isn't there?
There was two in that
time.
I have to go into Meadowhall once a fortnight. I just have to nip to a bank. And there used to be, you might see a copper in there. Then it got where you might see, if something had happened, you might have a copper with a handgun. Then it got where you would see a copper with a handgun. Then it got where there's at least one of 2 or 3 blokes have got a long rifle and a handgun. Now, today, there's 2 of them there. They've both got sidearms, and they've both got long rifles as well. All right, they're only carbines, but they're rifles.
Automatic machine guns.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
The fucking, it's nuts, and that's in Meadowhall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even know why anybody goes, because there's no fucking HMV there anymore.
No, that's closed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all closed. But have you noticed as well? Meadowhall's a little bit like society. There's the haves and the have-nots. Because there's one end that's full of fucking Primark and New Look and all basements,
Matalan,
bargain place, all them sort of places. Then you go to the other end and you've got like these Fabergé eggs and fucking shops with coats in them, and shit like that. So there's even a divide there. They probably thought, well, all these people with all these money don't want to be fucking hanging about with the ones with the mat.
I bet if you go in the car park down one end, it's nearly empty, because that's the end that the tram and the buses arrive at. But the car park at the other end is all full of 4x4s and Jags, where the posh shops are. Quite far away from the train station and the tram. Yeah.
I used to it's like near Debenhams, isn't it? That Debenhams entrance used to be. But I used to park up there so that people thought I was posh, and then I'd walk into Primark and New Look. What other one called? This Primark, Matalan.
Matalan, yeah, that's it.
Matalan card, and then you go other end, and there's not a Matalan card in sight. They're all gold cards, and they've got helicopter things there, aren't they, and everything. I remember that that tosspot that won from Birmingham that won lottery at 90s. They put an helipad in for him. Called Lee Summer. He was a mixed race guy, and he was from Midlands. Yeah, he was in 90s, and he used to come up with his in his helicopter, and all it needs is an Harvey Nichols up that end. I don't know if they've got one. Have they got one in there?
Don't know. Not as far as I know. Not that I'd want, think, or no idea. No idea.
It's split in society. Society is split in every single way that it can be. The only way to make sure that you're not split is you become a Raconteurs subscriber. Follow us. We'll tell you all goods. We'll not tell you any shit, and we'll talk to anybody. We'll talk to absolutely anybody, no matter what their opinions is, and because that is what we are. That's the way we were brought up, weren't we, Aid?
That were. So this facial recognition thing, is it in now? Is it being used? Is it being proposed? Have they announced it to see what the shock value is, to see whether they can get away with it? What is it?
Well, as in all cases, like could be slightly controversial, they are trialing it. So that means coming out, is it?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. Thin end of the wedge.
Thin end of the wedge. Yeah, and then then it's all the same. We give away so much of this information. You can. It'll get to you're in a shopping centre and you're walking past somewhere and you get a text message on your phone saying, "Come in now and we'll fucking give you, a free rubber Johnny to put over the top of your iPhone." And then they'll go in and then they'll buy something else, some other crap that they don't need.
Yeah.
It's
so that
over and over
again. By the time you approach one of them advertising screens, that Clear Channel have got everywhere now, that changes. Facial recognition camera sees you, knows that you're into, I don't know, television, and by the time you get there, the latest Sony widescreen, all singing, all dancing smart TV, there's an advert for it.
Yeah.
And all that is here now waiting. But it needs the 5G network to be that quick. That's what it needs.
There's a bloke, a mannequin stood in CNA window doing underpants, and it's got like a face on it because it's one of them cardboard things. And they recognise the face, so they go and arrest the bloke with the model for the thing for public indecency for only wearing underpants in Meadowhall, And you know what they do? They probably say you're going to have to you're strictly liable for this because technically your image were used, and people then thought you may have a penis or a vagina under there, depending on their first. Boiling frogs. Someone said newbie and said, boiling frogs. They are coming for us, but we can have a laugh, can't we? We can talk about them.
You've got to laugh about it because, if you were to be the top of this pyramid chain thing, whatever it is, I've got to give it to them. They've designed almost the perfect fuck-up system that works. It works brilliantly. I don't think I could be that devious to design it like that. I really don't.
Fucking here's one from Sky. Man is videoed trying to steal Magna Carta.
Sorry, say that again.
Man is videoed trying to steal the Magna Carta.
Where is the Magna Carta now?
It's like I think it's got its own house.
Weren't it lent out around the country? Oh, quite a few years ago, because I've seen it. I think I saw it at Lincoln Cathedral.
Image of a man accused of attempting to steal the Magna Carta from Salisbury Cathedral.
Salisbury Cathedral.
Yeah, that's where it is. The Magna Carta. So he's tried to. Apparently, he did it last year. But if you look at the images, the crap Fucking CCTV's crap. You can't see fuck all, and yet this is like Magna Carta that it's covering. You know what I mean? It don't make any fucking sense, does it?
Yeah.
It just don't make any sense at all. We've got better images of us now. Oh, by the way, we'll be facial recognition. They'll be all over us.
I don't give a shit. I don't care.
But won't somebody please think of the children? Think of the children.
But of course, they're just doing their job, aren't they? I tell you what. Do you know a Sharpie won't like that? I've just picked the wrong thing up. Hey dear. Right, so go on then. Yes, you were going to tell us a story as well.
Oh right. Oh yeah. This is a true story. This is this is the antithesis of, like, you know, the sort of fucking people that we got now. This is going back a long time. This is might be going back 15 years, but this kid, he must have been about 19 or 20, and he worked at the place where I used to go and load up. So he'd load truck up, and he'd get talking to me, and he kept saying to me, he says, I hate this job. He kept saying, I can't stand this job. I hate this job. I hate this job. Anyway, this one day he's got he says to me, he says, I hate this job. He says, you know, he says, I was almost out of it. I said, all right, what happened? He says, well, me and my dad, we were gonna open a shop, and I was gonna work there. He says, but he died on 25th. I said, oh no, what of? He goes, November. Shit, you know.
That's not a joke, is it?
No, that's not a joke.
He really said that.
He said, yeah. I said, oh, what of? November. You know, it's just kill me now, kill me then. That would be probably in 90s. Well, no, probably mid noughties, as they were called.
Yeah.
Do you think they called them noughties in 1900s? Did they call like it's the noughties? What did they call them then?
I don't know, but do you think they had 2,500 under 18 thinking they wanted to be girls instead of boys? Then they didn't, did they?
We'll never know, will we?
No.
We'll never know, because the statistics weren't about then. But now more and more people are coming out.
I used to have a teacher at school who taught. Sorry, my mum had a teacher at school. Was it my mum? I think it was my mum. She had a teacher at school, used to teach statistics, which isn't an easy thing to say when you've got Bell's palsy, let me tell you. Statistics. By a teacher who couldn't say statistics, who said, and this teacher. And this teacher literally used to come in just to teach this one subject. Yeah. Yeah, never going to teach chemistry, was she?
You know, explosions everywhere, wasn't it? Yeah. Mushroom cloud above school.
But, you know, some people go, oh, you can't say that. Why? Because it's funny. Well, I found it funny, and apparently it's true. So anyway, we should all be open to being ridiculed, providing it's not cruel. Because otherwise, we don't take ourselves too seriously, won't we? Oh, you mean there are people who really do that? Okay, right.
You know, there's tons of the cunts that take themselves too fucking seriously, man. And we don't. We just sit here, we talk, we have a laugh, and we do get some interesting guests on. We've got Ben Emlyn Jones on next Tuesday. He's going to be good. I've got a couple in pipeline. Like I say, everything just seems to be not right now. I've got a guy who's doing this Mark Steele thing. Who's got? I'll point to his website. It's not his website. It's YouTube. It's called, if you find him on Facebook, it's called Ian McFerran. But that's McFerran, I think. Let me just check. But I emailed him and he just said that he's wanting to do a second phase before he does any interviews. So just waiting for him to do that second phase. Also, the guy at the guys from the Jeremy Bamber campaign, they're going to be on as soon as the legal issues have all been cleared up and they're able to talk. So hopefully there'll be some good news from them as well, because although the Shitehouse Farmers, was just a big pile of dog shit, it
just seems like a dramatized. Don't know.
It might. Well, it might.
It's not a film. It's not a documentary. It's not a drama. It's not. It's just kind of. Yeah, it's just kind of a mixture and don't really. I don't know.
Well, like I say, I watched first episode and then I just couldn't watch the next ones because I just thought because Danielle were watching with me and she knows what I'm like. I'll just be shouting at the fucking screen all the time. So I've said if she wants to watch them, they're all recorded. She can watch them on her own. But yeah, we'll get them back on, and hopefully they'll have some good news for us and for everybody. Because it's just a ridiculous situation that he finds himself in for all these years. So we've come to the end of the evening.
No, we haven't. I want to ask you something.
Okay, go on.
Your internet.
Yes.
Sorted? What was wrong with it?
It was the router, the cable from, where I had the router, where the skybox were. Well, the main hub thing was in the kitchen. And the line that went from the box to the kitchen went under the bit where I used to go over.
So it was because you were running it over with your wheelchair.
So we're running it over with my wheelchair. And so what he's done is move the router to the kitchen, just put a really short cable in, and it's just been fine all day. Neuro Paradise says, I knew it was that. I know you knew. Everybody knew. God, I just couldn't work it out, until I realised that it was underneath. But yeah,
one other thing which I was going to say, and I remembered what it was. I love putting on YouTube videos and walking around the house doing stuff. Sorry, walking around the studio. Yeah. Doing stuff, and I'm still listening. So it's great when we get something like what we do, or lots and lots and lots of people who put content out there. And a lot of it I'm new to. Some of it I've heard it all before. Other stuff I don't believe, and other stuff I'm open to. But if I'm sat watching something on a screen, I'm in a completely different place. I'm not wandering about the house. So when people do videos with really good information in, can I please ask you, please narrate it, actually speak it. Don't just play caption shit music and put little captions along the bottom, like, what do you call it? Yeah. When you can read every word that's supposed to be said.
Subtitles.
So, because there are more and more people who, if I could be asked to actually sit down and look at a screen and read this video, or you shouldn't have to read a video. You should be able to listen and watch a video, not have to read it. So, if people are going to put content out there, please, for the lazy fuckers like me, please would you speak the words as well? Because it doesn't matter what sort of speaking voice you've got, doesn't matter whether it's a perfect radio voice or a squeaky, it don't matter. As long as it's you speaking honestly, don't matter. But it's much, much better if you have it narrated as if you're going to put the subtitles or the captions up, fine. But, and it doesn't matter what the subject is. I'm much more likely to sit and listen.
Yeah, I get you. I get it when the music on and then the subtitle, the words come up, and sometimes they're too quick.
Yeah, or they're too slow. So you're either missing stuff and having to flick back, or you sat there going, "Yeah, next," And
the good thing about is that someone can get it on the mobile device, get the cordless headphones, and just walk around the house and listen to it, and
Exactly.
you know, all the time. There's not really much to look at, is there?
So I just think it's a shame, you know, somebody's gone to a lot of effort to put probably a really good video together. You know, sometimes hours and hours in length, and then instead of having it narrated, they just put the captions up, and you've lost half your audience. Well, you've lost lazy fuckers like me. So, which I think is a shame when you've gone to that much trouble to get all the information. It's just like at the last hurdle. So,
so on that note,
just an observation. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to you, AD, and thanks to everyone who's been in the chat room. It's been lively in there tonight as usual. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are not a subscriber. Please subscribe and click the notifications. Then you'll get a notification every time we're on. You don't have to follow that notification, but at least you'll know that we're on. We'll see you next week. We might do an after dark later on in week, but
we've got Ben Emlyn Jones. Is it on Monday or Tuesday? Ben's on Tuesday, so
I'm going to line up a guest for Monday as well. So we'll get back to it. Now my internet's more stable. We'll get back to the.
But you're not running over it
as well. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we'll see if we do an after dark, and we'll see if not, we'll see you next Monday. Take care. Love you all.
Ta-ra.